Wasabi, this is Grim from the Reality Skewed Gamers, and you are listening to the Escape Podcast. Portions of this show have been recorded in front of a live studio audience. Kick back and enjoy the ride.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast, the Hyperdrive bundle details are announced, and Neil, I'm a little confused.
Well, confused doesn't enter into it because there were no details, and I am furious, angry, enraged, disgusted.
Yeah, well, you know, we both seem to be having
a lot like the thesaurus that Carrie used to use. Well, we tackled the TB reaction and the Q&A that was full of Q's, but not many A's.
Oh, there were plenty of A's, Paul.
Neil! We talked to Reality Skewed Gamers about what to do next.
And find out about their plans for this weekend.
And all that.
Not quite
and
boom
more,
sauce, not yet.
Right here.
Biscuit, not yet. Nearly.
Yes, live
Biscuits.
on the Escape Pod Cast.
I can. Oh, good. I was about to start playing with all the bobbleheads I got when I was out shopping today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into this edition of the Escape Pod Cast, and as you hear rifling around back there, I am joined by Neil Andrew Eyre, who got himself a whole bunch of bobbleheads. What did you get?
I got a Luke Skywalker bobblehead on an X-Wing. I got Boba Fett on Slave 1. I got Obi-Wan Kenobi on his ship. I got Han Solo. I got Yoda. I got Leia. I got Stormtrooper on an AT-AT. It's a straight AT-AT. It's not the new lesbian AT-AT that's going to be appearing in episode 9. It's just a straight cisgender male AT-AT.
What are you talking about?
Have you not read the
I don't read spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler. The Babylon Bee is a parody website. They do satire. They're 100% pure satire.
Okay.
And
so
they released it. They released
Nerddom?
Basically, they're the Onion. Yeah, they're another version of the Onion, and they did a funny story that says, Disney announces first lesbian AT-AT to appear in Star Wars Episode 9, and it's a picture of an AT-AT with purple hair and a rainbow flag on the side. I thought it was funny.
All right.
So I've got lots and lots of bobbleheads, and so very happy. So more stuff to go on my shelf behind me.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing that when we do Talking Mando with Thaddeus on Sunday.
Yes, we'll do show. I'll leave everything for show and tell with Thaddeus on Sunday. Everything will be left for show and tell.
There we go. All right. So things broke right before we went live. Things broke today.
Yeah, they did. Things have a habit of breaking this week, don't they?
So, it was quite interesting. We got the kits for General Hux. We got the kit for the Sith Trooper. And then, let's talk Hux and Sith Trooper right now, and then we'll get to the other one. Mm-hmm. So it looks like Hux is going to be the new go-to Zeta leader for the First Order teams.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's got some good mechanics in there.
He does. Hux will gain 10% turn meter, and if he has advantage, he loses it and dispels all buffs from all enemies, which can't be evaded, then call all other First Order allies to assist, dealing 25% more damage. Heinzie's really excited about that one because that's an even bigger Panda Bang.
Well, yes, there's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff to it. I mean, I kind of get the feeling he's going to be squishy. But the mechanic part of his kit that really excites me is the resetting of cooldowns. I think it's going to be. I mean, God love Thrawn. We all love Thrawn and his ability to really control the opposition. But his fracture only works on one person, and it can go away if he dies. I'm liking this resetting the cooldowns because there are some characters out there who they build up to. I mean, the character to mind that strikes me is Nihilus. To be able to reset Nihilus's Annihilate before he gets to use it kind of and resetting Scion. I'm looking at that thinking, hey, these guys might be good against. I mean, most people don't use Traya, but obviously, I'm looking at that and thinking that might be good against Sith. But yeah, very very excited at the prospect of Hux's. Or some people call him Hugs.
Yeah, very General Hugs.
General Hugs, yeah, General Hugs and Kisses. I'm looking for, it's going to be interesting having his leadership, having the Sith Trooper in, because obviously the Sith Trooper is going to be an attacking one. So it does, for all intents and purposes, look like we're getting another leader that's going to give us 2 full, solid First Order teams.
Well, we have that, and then speaking of the leader ability, real quick, his second special dispels all debuffs on him and a target, and grants the other ally a bonus turn. Mm-hmm. And if he has advantage, he loses advantage and resets all ability cooldowns on target ally. So that, you just talked about that. But the leader ability, he gains dominance, and it's not even a Zeta. It's not even a Zeta.
The dominance one looks good.
He gains dominance, and then if he didn't already have it, dominance expires at the end of the turn whenever Hux is critically hit.
But he gets it straight away. He gets it straight away. He gets it straight away at the beginning of his turn.
And first order allies have an 100% counter chance and a 50% plus 50% critical damage. So you're not going to be using Kylo Ren, original OG Kylo Ren on this team, because he already has that counter attack ability. Mm-hmm.
You'll save the Kylo Ren for your other First Order team. But I mean, the mechanics for the mechanics for Hugs and Kisses basically has me thinking fast. You want him super stupid fast, so that he is constantly setting off. That dominance. So if he does get critically hit and the dominance goes, you want him going again as soon as physically possible, so the dominance kicks in and everybody gets the buff.
So Heinze says in the listener lounge, will he be in a black leather suit and whip when you call in dominance? Yes, and the Sith Trooper gains submission.
Yeah, no, that I must admit that reminds me of the Disney Plus and Chill meme going around.
Well, hey, you got a friend in me. All right. So let's see here. The Sith Trooper. I really didn't get a chance to look at the Sith Trooper as much.
Neither did I.
He
I
gains
didn't
critical hit immunity. If this attack is a critical hit, he gains critical hit immunity. That's pretty nice on a unique. Vengeance Blast deal physical damage to, so it's an AoE, and it deals 50% more damage for each defeated Sith or First Order ally. That's not too shabby.
So Sith, yeah. So a defeated Sith or what ally?
Or First Order ally, of course.
Right. Okay. So, if it's a defeated Sith or First Order ally, then they're giving. Has he got a Sith tag?
He does have a Sith tag. They did give him a Sith tag.
Interesting.
He is First Order attacker and Sith.
Interesting. Oh,
yeah.
There's who's top dog when it comes to theory crafting on Sith? We know it. Jedi Master Adastra does Jedi. Who's our OG? Who's our OG when it comes to Sith theory crafting?
I would say either Mandalore would be, or Clash is also amazing at it.
Yeah, Clash does. Yeah, Clash DOE does know his Sith. I mean, if it was Rebels or Clone, I mean, I'd just go straight to It's Just Ian.
Oh yes. Yeah.
If it was Galactic Republic or Rebels, I'd just go straight to It's Just Ian. But I'm just trying to think of a guy. Yeah. Well, we need to get somebody in chat that knows their stuff when it comes to the Sith, because with the implementation of two new characters, there's going to be a new Rey and there's going to be a new Kylo. I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. So it might be worthwhile saving your Sith Trooper, but putting your Sith Trooper on a Sith team, perhaps. Who knows? 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't know, because I'm not good when it comes to theory crafting for Sith, which is why
Helenix is pointing us to the Sith Order, and Deadpool Kyle's raising his hand, going me. So,
what we want to know, DPK, is what. Based on what the kit is for the Sith Trooper, what would be a good Sith team to put this guy with? Would he be good with a Palpatine lead and some Vader action there? Would he be good in a Traya, or would he be good in a Darth Revan team? We've got a Darth Revan team, a Traya team, or a Palpatine team. Which of those leaderships is best going to take advantage of the new Sith Troopers mechanics?
I think he's going to be more used in the First Order in this than, you don't want to take him away from the First Order team. I think that's going to be the answer. His second
special,
because
they always throw the CG always throw us characters that they expect to use in teams, and then they never get used in those teams again. Mission and Zalbar are a perfect example of that. They expected people to use Mission and Zalbar with Bastilla and Bindo and Karth, but nobody uses them with Bindo and Bastilla. They get put in scoundrel squads.
That's because Bastilla and Bindu have a better usage in the JKR team.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's
move on.
Go on then. Keep going.
Our RSG interview is super long.
Yes.
So
and I have some things to say about Hyperdrive.
Exactly. His second special: dispel all debuffs on First Order and Sith allies and grant them advantage for 2 turns. So this is certainly, note this: dispel all debuffs on First Order and Sith allies. So you are not putting this with your Revan. You're not putting this with your Malak. You want them to have those debuffs on.
You want them on. Yeah, you want those debuffs. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the Sith Trooper already had advantage, he is called to assist. Now he has a Zeta on his unique, and at the start of the battle, he gains advantage for 2 turns if the leader is First Order or Sith. While Sith Trooper has advantage, he has plus 50% more critical damage. Whenever a First Order or Sith ally scores a critical hit or stuns an enemy, he assists, at least limit to once per turn. And I think this is where the Zeta comes in. Whenever another First Order or Sith ally is defeated, the AoE that he has is reset, and the Sith Trooper gains advantage and takes a bonus turn. So essentially he gets the big blast right away.
Yeah, it sounds good. We're just going to have to wait until some whales buy this character and start field testing it from 4 stars onwards.
I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what Hux is going to do.
It'd be nice if they marquee these and get them into the out there to us to farm as soon as possible. But just like the ARC Trooper, I'd really like them to do that. I think they're going to need to, especially if they're bringing in a new Rey and a new Kylo Ren as legendary. These new characters, they're going to have to make it possible for people to wail on them and farm them as soon as physically possible. So I'd just be curious to know what type of nodes they're going to put them on.
I want to see a character Galactic Chase, but that's just me. I love the Galactic Chases. I really
Yeah,
love the Galactic
I hate the Galactic. You like them, and I hate them. I despise Galactic Chase. I prefer Marquee. I prefer just getting my 3-star character so that it's there. I don't like faffing around. Spending crystals on extra refreshes for I just don't like. I've never liked the Galactic Chase. Never liked it.
I already spend crystals on energy. That's honestly all I really do. That is where all my stuff goes to, is energy. Because energy is the cheapest way to get some things. It's not as immediate, but it's the cheapest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. It's just a preference,
All right. So let's get into this. We'll cover the journey guide post that they put up in just a moment after the break. But before we go to the break, we are going to get, this was supposed to be Neil's segment because we flip-flopped segments this week. Neil, you wanted to say something about the Hyperdrive bundle.
Yes, I did, actually. I did want to say a few things about the Hyperdrive bundle. And they ain't pretty. So here's my thoughts regarding the Hyperdrive bundle details on the forum post. They ain't details. They're specifics. They're telling us the format for the Hyperdrive bundle. They're not giving us details. Details would be, this is when we're going to release it, this is how much it's going to cost, and these are the characters that you're going to be getting upgraded to 5 stars, gear 8, and level 5 on the abilities. But they haven't done that. They've simply said, we're going to set your account to level 85, and we're going to unlock light side battles to 8 and dark side battles to 8 and cantina stages to 8. So 9s for some, they're not unlocking the 9s. Whether they do or don't. Mod battle stages, all the way, so all of it, this is all good information. It's solid information. They're telling you what you're paying for regarding challenges and mod tables and various different PvE tables. But what they're not saying is when they're going to bring it in and which of the 65 characters and the 17 ships that you're going to be getting are. Because that's kind of an important one. I think that's a very, very, very important element, is not knowing what the characters are, not knowing which of the 65 characters or the 17 ships you're going to get. I mean, it could be all 65, it could be all 17 ships. We don't know. It's not going to be one. I always said that I thought it would be one faction to 5 stars. I really, really thought it was going to be one faction to 5 stars, but it's not. So we are talking about a pack that gets that gets aimed at noobs. So we are talking about brand new players that have been playing this game for maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks. They haven't got a clue about the game, and here comes a pack that, for all intents and purposes, is likely to be $2, $3, $4, maybe even $500, and it's going to dump an absolute load onto a character, take them up to level 85, enabling them to qualify for all manner of things within the game, including GAC. What they don't include in the pack is Zetas, Omegas, and mods. And everybody knows that when you play this game for a prolonged period of time, when you unlock mods at 50, going from 50 to 85 takes weeks. And during that period, you are clocking up mod after mod after mod after mod. And when you hit level 85 and you can start farming for slicing gear, all those 5, 10, 12, 13 speeds that you've been picking up along the way from 50 to 85 are already placed on characters, and you roll them. If you are playing the game and you just jump straight to 85, you've got no mods, nothing, zip. So you're going to go into GAC with a bunch of 5-star Gear 8 characters and no mods. What's going to happen to those accounts? They're going to get stomped on, absolutely stomped on. And forget about them doing anything half decent in territory wars or territory battles, because again, they've got no mods. So you're getting a bunch of characters, a bunch of squads. Sure, they may be ready, as in, qualifying for legendaries because they've got 5 stars. But we all know that gear levels are important for certain legendaries. You can get by with crap against Palpatine. But you can't get by with crap against Thrawn. Against Thrawn. You can't get by with crap against R2-D2. You can't get by against. There are so many legendaries that you cannot get by with crap mods or zero mods. You need mods. Even if they're not fast, you need some decent 5-dot mods, and they are not being provided. So all of this is being presented out. We're talking about kids. We're talking about young people. We're talking about people that can stump up £200, £300, £400, £500. I'm about to use the P word. This is predatory. If it's true, if these packs come out and they are hundreds of dollars, it is predatory as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if these packs come out cheap, and you're only getting a few characters, fine, I will retract referring to this bundle as predatory from EA. I will more than happily retract that. But if they are charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this, that is something that is, in my opinion, aimed at people that don't know anything about, if you come into a game and you know nothing about it and you are kind of like edged into, oh, hey, this pack will give you such a huge boost and it'll give you, mid-game abilities and you'll be able to do this and this and this in the game. And people, oh yeah, sure, okay, that sounds good. I'll get all these characters. I'll buy that pack, and then you get to GAC, and you get stomped on. You get into TW, and your characters barely qualify. 6,000 GP needed per character.
So Neil, that is really, really strong words using predatory.
Yes. It's look. I do not use that. I really, really don't use that word lightly. I mean, there have been instances, and they're few and far between. They're not often. I mean, the one obvious other one I can think of was EA's EA Sports game FIFA. Now, it's not a big game over here in the United States because you guys don't like what we call football. You refer to it as soccer. But there were big issues with FIFA soccer and the predatory aiming of the packs and the pay-to-win mechanics in that game aimed at kids to try and get really, really good footballers that they wanted to have in the game. Okay,
so explain the pay-to-win mechanic of a soccer game. Or football game.
Football game. So, just as in the NFL, the NHL, and the NBA, there are world-class sportsmen. People that you want on your team. Now, in the FIFA football, they do not include these characters as part of the game that you pay 60 quid. It's a AAA game, so you pay for it up front, $60. So you're paying AAA price for the game. But you don't get the access to the world-class stars. The EA sell these packs, and in these packs you get cards, and you can just like Bronzium cards in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You roll the dice. It's a gamble. You hit it. You might get. With Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you might get that 0.01 chance and get 330 shards. You might just get 5 shards. In FIFA...
So you're telling me I can't go and play with Messi and Ronaldo in just a free... just out of the box in exhibition mode? I cannot do that?
I don't know about exhibition mode, but in competitive mode, if you want to play against your friends online, these are, you have to buy these characters. And because FIFA is marketed to kids, and because the game is marketed at the lower level, so it's not aimed at under teens, but it's aimed at teens and pre-teens, because football in the UK and in Europe is huge. It's the number one sport. It really, so everybody wants to play FIFA. Everybody likes to play FIFA, and there are kids plowing through hundreds and hundreds of pounds, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, because they think that they might get Messi, and then they don't. and that has predatory connotations as far as I'm concerned, because the chances of getting that messy are slim to non-existent, and that's why I'm using that as an analogy for what is the Hyperdrive bundle pack. In that you're saying if you buy this, if you spend money on this, it'll make you good.
So this isn't just Ultimate Team. This isn't just one game mode. You to get them in exhibition or just playing online, you have to purchase them. You can't. You don't purchase them. You purchase the card packs, and you might get lucky and get the pack. So I'm just gonna point this out, that this same practice, Neil knows FIFA, but this same practice, ladies and gentlemen, is, as I've been playing dumb here. This same practice is used in and the Madden game. This same practice is used in the NHL game. It's not just this whole FIFA thing.
It's EA Sports.
And what we're talking about is where the new senior producer has come from. To answer your question about, I thought this was a Swaga podcast, Kyle. I could still edit your commercial out. But yes, no. So the new this is where it's cut. This is where it's cut. So this is why I'm saying that this is. I believe this to be an EA thing. I don't believe this to be a CG thing. That is my personal opinion. That is my own speculation. That is not fact. I am simply, I'm deducing that this Hyperdrive bundle is an EA thing based on the fact that the new senior producer worked for EA Sports for 7 years, and I am just a scotch concerned that the senior producer for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, who worked for EA Sports, is trying to introduce a similar type of predatory purchasing. And I mean, like I said, I will take it all back if this is a cheap bundle, and all it's really doing is giving people some basic characters at 5 stars, easy characters that aren't amazing, but will allow certain areas of the game to get unlocked. I mean, whoever pays for it going to level 85 is still going to get stomped on in GAC, and they're going to be annoyed with that. I mean, if someone pays $200, $300, $400, $500 and then they enter a GAC and they set their defense, and then they watch their defense get full cleared and they're getting beaten by 62, 63 banners, and then what they say for offense does nothing, they're going to be a bit upset. Because I'd be a little bit upset, because you'd be like, excuse me, I thought this hundreds and hundreds of dollar bundle was going to make me, be able to do this stuff. And EA will fall back on themselves and say, oh no, well, the purpose of the Hyperdrive bundle is to qualify you so that you can do stuff in guilds. It doesn't mean that you'll do stuff well or that you'll do stuff satisfactorily. It just means you can do stuff, because that's all this bundle is going to mean. You get the entry fee. You get your entry fee. Yeah, whether we didn't say it was going to make you competitive. We didn't say that the Hyperdrive bundle was going to make you good. It was just going to qualify you for a bunch of stuff. And the fact that stuff that you qualify for is, you're just not going to do well in it, and that's what I see the excuse being. So I see this Hyperdrive bundle coming out. I see people buying it. I see negative connotations coming from the community of people that buy this, saying this is awful, I wish I hadn't bought it, it was a waste of money. And then EA being questioned about it and falling back on the answer. It's like, well, hey, it was just a qualifier, it was just we just wanted to allow you to do other things that you can't do when you start the game immediately, that because you have to play for, I've been doing the Horde account for 70 days now, 70 days, and I'm still at level 79. So I've been playing I will have been playing for 3 months before I hit 85. I have got a boatload of mods. I've got enough Zetas to put 2-3 Zetas on characters. Somebody starting this game, getting to the same position as me, hasn't got squat. They've got nothing. And somebody's going to slide right in there at 85. right after you get there yourself.
Mm-hmm. So, I just, I feel sorry. I genuinely feel sorry for the people that are going to buy this pack if it is as overpriced as I suspect it's going to be. But if it's not, and once it gets released, and I know how much it costs, and I know which of these 65 characters and 17 ships you'll get. I mean, if you get 65 characters and 17 ships, and it's $500, I would go, hell yeah, that's worth it. Because you might not necessarily have strong squads, but you've got more squads than your opponent. So you'd be able to put a full defense down and then have 2 squads to attempt each of the GACs. But we don't know because we don't have the details. We don't have any details.
Any other final words on Hyperdrive bundles, or have you shaken the salt shaker enough?
I think I've shaken the salt shaker enough. Hey, if EA wants to address this with me directly, but by all means, crack on. And if you can argue legitimately against me, if you can put a concise argument against my speculation and my the words that I have used, then I'll retract them. But if not, they will stand. And these words will stand until, I am satisfied that it is not going to be, the Hyperdrive bundle is not going to be the latest installment of EA's predatory, pushing of, pay-to-win mechanics in EA games.
Strong words from a strong man.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but it has to be said. Everybody's talking about GOTB, right? Everybody is talking about GOTB. Everybody's talking about these new characters, and there is no one talking about the potential predatory practices of EA regarding this goddamn Hyperdrive bundle. And people need to start funking talking about it.
All right. I love that you put it in there. You also set me up, which I thank you for the segue. Coming up after this break, we are going to be talking about the fallout of territory battles, the future of territory battles, and we're also going to talk about the Journey Guide and Galactic Legends. Stick around. There's more coming up right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
This is Heinzie, and you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast on the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
The Escape Pod Cast.
All right, Neil. Well, we talked all about the Hyperdrive bundles, and we'll see where it comes up. We'll absolutely see where it comes up. Now, everybody was talking about the difficulty of the light side territory battles. Some people thought that it was backwards. Some people thought that it was that there were some bugs in it. That we actually know that there were some bugs in it because, we unlocked both of the next ground territories after only completing the middle. There are a lot of theories into what happened, but I think that they just purposely made this balls difficult. And
they made it, no, they didn't make it difficult. They made it impossible. They made it technically and mathematically impossible.
They made it mathematically impossible to score perfect. That is true.
Yes. So now there's no point. Why introduce something that is mathematically impossible to succeed in?
Because it's supposed to be for later endgame. Now, I'm going to surprise a lot of people.
Okay.
I am going to surprise a lot of people when I say this. But this territory battle ticked me off. I am absolutely incensed by it. Now, there are people, including our dear friend, Caden Ace, who have just recently said that they're going to be quitting the game. And now, Neil, I want to try to be that action hero movie star, and I'm going to try to catch these people as they're about to go over the edge, grab them by the arm, and pull them back. If you are a player that recently just quit over this Geonosis territory battle, I want you to listen closely. This is my monologue segment in this. There is a lot more to this game than just territory battles. It might be my very favorite mode. I wasn't happy with how this one went either. But you know what? I still play the game for other reasons. The community is great. The people that the friends that we've made in this community, including, and I'm going to single you out again, Caden, I'm sorry, but, all the stuff that you did for Scotty and I during Star Wars Celebration, the stuff that you did, Nev, the stuff that Dex did for me, the stuff that Danku and Sir Boss did for me during all this stuff, the community itself, every single person that has that has even just listened to us for a moment. I love you guys. I really do. And I do not want one mode to tear our family apart. And I mean that strongly when I say family. Every single one of you are my family. And I want to bring you back to play how you want to play. Now, I'm not going to force you to. Because if I force you to, that's not being friendly. But consider not giving up. We recorded with Reality Skewed Gamers before, and back me up here, Neil. We came up with some ideas on how to send a message, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we discussed some potential ideas.
Yeah, don't give them away.
We did. I'm not going to give them away. I'm just saying that I'm it's non-spoiler. We did discuss some potential ways that we've heard in and around the community as ways that we could mitigate the unintended consequences of such a terribly implemented game issue regarding territory battles. So yeah,
and one of our we've got Thrawn and Kyle both saying that they play for GAC. I'm going to tell you
Same here.
Well, I mean, Nev, I was very, very surprised that you were on board with one of my ideas. I really was.
Well, that's why like I said, the community is more important to me than my content. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I think the community comes before my content as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we absolutely love you guys. Now, the territory battles being as difficult as they are, I still need to do the math myself. People are saying that you need a 12 million roster to be able to fully complete all the missions. I just want to make sure that when those people are doing that, they're including the bonuses that you get from the doing the combat missions and things like that, because just deploying, which is what we did until they took the TB down, but
yeah,
that's what we were doing. We were doing just a deployment only mission, and it is better to do. You do get better GET2 rewards and Gearbox rewards by even getting 1 star in Geonosis Territory Battle, and you can light side, and you can get that through just ships, deploying ships only. We were able to get it through just deployment and ships. We were able to get 2 stars in my guild. Now my guild's a 220, but that's what it is.
Yeah, well, doesn't that make, and doesn't that drive you nuts?
It does.
Because it drives me. No, it drives me nuts. A game function where all you do is go in, deploy, and leave, and you do that once every. So it's 4 stages. So you do it once every the first 36 hours, and then the next 36 hours, and then the next 36. So 4 times, all you're doing is going in, deploying, leaving, and you get more rewards for doing that than the hours that people put in to placing defenses, redoing mods for doing GAC.
And you know what? It's when it's not a GAC,
that's disgusting. When it's not a
TB day, Neil. When it's not a TB day, you're logging in, or it's a territory war day, when it's just a day of no events, you're logging in 3 times a day. You're logging in 3 times for a few seconds to get your energy and get out. You do that. I'm logging in right now to collect my energy. Boom. I just finished. That's what I would do before guilds, before territory battles, before all this. So, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other sometimes.
Yeah. And everybody had a different opinion on the different facets and the different aspects of it.
And Jay Solo says, and arena climb. That's if you give a crap about arena.
Yeah, some people just do the 2 the 2 battles required to complete the daily, so that they can get the couple of bits of gear and the credits, the crystals, and the couple of pieces of gear at the end. I mean, me personally, I do 2 on all of my accounts, barring the Horde account and the Pom Pom Tastic. So I do all 5 on the Pom Pom Tastic. I do all 5 on the Horde, and then my main I do 2. If I can remember it, and the Merc account gets 2, just so that I can do dailies. So I don't care about the arena. I've gone from the top 100 on my Merc account to not even in the top 500 because I just gave up. I just don't care about Squad Arena for the Merc account anymore. I care about Fleet Arena, but that, different. So that, I care about different things with different accounts. I care about territory wars with my main account. And I care about territory battles with my Merc account.
You know what I care about? I care about theory crafting with my guild. I care about interacting and sharing unlock progress. I care about helping my guildmates. When I have 5,000 of one item that I haven't turned into relic dust yet, I enjoy giving that to them. It's, it all comes down to the fact that I enjoy this community more. And I plead with those on the edge of jumping, those who have jumped that I've hopefully caught. I ask you, please, don't go don't go over light side Geonosis Territory Battle. because coming up in the next segment, with the talk with RSG, let's try to make a difference, and I think that we can do that. What do you think, Nev?
Comes down to is, don't let this be the, don't let this what's going on in TB be the thing that forces you out of the game. For all intents and purposes, don't let this be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, please don't. I mean, if there's a way that we, let us know what we can do. If there's anything that I can do, in my position, I'd love to try. We're running a little long. Our RSG info, our RSG interview went really, really long. Do you want to save Galactic Legends for after the RSG interview and give you time to look at this really, really short article that'll probably blow your mind?
Yeah. Let's leave everything. Let's leave it all until the fourth segment. Let's let everybody listen to what Ranger and Finn and Grim and Indian Mary Poppins have to say.
All right. Jeez. All right. Well, we might have a question for the Indian Mary Poppins. We'll see. All right. Well, guys, coming up after this break, story time with the llama, and then the interview with Reality Skewed Gamers. This one was one of my favorite interviews that we've had in a while, and they're also going to talk about their upcoming charity stream, 2 days of nonstop streaming to help you get closer and closer to Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, gets you closer and closer to New Year's. You can't not celebrate New Year's. We'll be right back after these on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware. Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Hey everyone, this is Biscuit Weasel here from the Escape Pod Cast Content Creators Network. I'm sure some of you have seen my latest videos about General Kenobi countering the Millennium Falcon and Rebel fleets, as well as my top 10 Zeta videos for newer players. But I want to help you guys personally. If you head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, to check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month for free. That's patreon.com/biscuitweasel. Remember, that's with a Z. Today.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message, and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Back to school. The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Podawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. This week, we're going to be doing something a little different. Welcome to Meditation with the Llama. The past few weeks have been an extremely stressful time for the Swaga community, and frankly, there's a lot of turmoil and negativity surrounding the game. As a new player, you might be debating on whether or not to just cut your losses and uninstall the app from your device. As all things in life, there have been ups and downs in this game. There is no perfection, and there never will be. But this is a game and community that has brought so much joy into the lives of so many. It is a community who banded together and contributed to raising $15,000 for one of their own. One that shares guidance and information with newcomers in an effort to increase enjoyment and reduce frustration. We must come together and help each other through this struggle. This community has faced this type of situation before and come out the other side better for it. Take the heroic Sith raid, for example. It was called the Guild Killer by so many, and now guilds across the galaxy are breezing through it like it's nothing. If we could do it then, we can do it now. I believe this game will rise once more as it has done in the past. This is just the next great hurdle similar to ones before it. This community truly is the best out there, and together we will get through this. That's all for me. Tune in next week for story time with the Llama and the Escape Pod cast for kids.
You're breaking up, Scotty, but there's no pod inside that airlock.
I know you don't want me to go, Paul, but I have to. This pod's going to take me to safety.
Scotty, there's no pod inside that airlock. Do not push the button. I repeat, do not push the button.
Yeah, he sounds pretty sincere there, but I checked the logs, and Paul's code was used to activate the escape pod before Scotty died. I know Scotty's negativity about the game was really starting to get to him. He could have easily just snapped. I'm gonna keep digging, but Paul has definitely just jumped to the top of my suspect list.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Air could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the aftershow. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast now offers our faithful listeners a way to show their support via merchandise. Declare your allegiance to Team Paul or Team Neil with official shirts. Get a story time with the llama button or magnet. Or just represent the show by getting an official logo hoodie. There are now even Team Scotty and Team Heinze options available too. Become an official Podawan today. Check out the merch at escapepodcastaways.com.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Thank you for calling Derelict Droids, your one-stop shop for refurbished and slightly modified, used and certified pre-owned droids. How can I help you?
This is your favorite Swuggo YouTuber's favorite Greek-American Swuggo YouTuber from the greater New York City area, and I recently destroyed my T-Series protocol droid. I was looking to see if you guys have anything in stock that I can quickly pick up. I do kind of need an assistant.
Certainly, sir. Being that you are a Swuggo player and a Swuggo YouTuber, we can only assume that you have tons of galactic credits to spend on a new droid. We have hunter killers and assassin droids, protocol droids, luxury companion droids. What were you looking to purchase today?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm kind of free to play right now, and my galactic credits are kind of low. You got anything on clearance?
Oh, God, we got another broke Swuggo YouTuber on our hands. Hey, D742, do we have anything on the clearance rack? Something that's barely being held together with duct tape and hydro spanners?
N00B is available for purchase.
It looks like you're in luck, sir. We do have one item remaining on our bottom shelf of our clearance rack. It is designation number N00B, and it is available for immediate purchase for only 99 galactic credits. Quite a good deal, I think.
I got a 10% coupon here, coupon code THX1138, and I'm wondering if I could apply that towards this purchase?
I'm sorry, sir, but your coupon cannot be applied towards the purchase of any clearance items.
All right. Do me a favor. Set that droid aside and put it under the name Hellenix. #shameless self-promotion. And I'll swing by to pick it up as soon as I'm done listening to the Escape Pod Cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Eyre. Take it away, boys. I've got a droid I gotta go purchase.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome to the incoming transmission for this week on the Escape Podcast. And Nev, I have some very, very good friends joining us this week. They are the champions of fundraising for cancer. They are the number one, in my mind, group that puts together the best community-driven passion projects out there. They are Reality Skewed Gamers, and this week we are joined by Ranger, Finity, and I was even able to lasso Grim Nev. What do you think about that?
I think getting 3 of the most community-minded people from Reality Skewed Gamers is brilliant.
All right, well, let's introduce the voices. Ranger, how are we going?
I hit Kyber. I'm the most amazing man alive.
Infinity.
I thought you were calling him Grimnev.
Did we combine that now? This is Grimnev?
That's what it sounded like you said.
It is a British mechanic. I am so happy right now.
Yeah.
It's bloody brilliant.
Paul definitely said we got Ranger, Finity, and managed to lasso Grimnev.
Grimnev. Well, you guys do hear Grimnev.
Yes, I'm Grim from time to time, but no, we want the other Grim. We want the other Grim today.
What if we did Fin and Nev and had like a Finev? That could work, right? Finev?
Well, no, because then I'd get blamed for everything.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I can't do that to you.
And you don't want me with a British accent. You know how that turns out.
Oh, God, if any accent. No, let's not go there.
I love these guys so much. All right. So, guys, one of the things that I wanted to throw out there first off is, we just got done with 2 live segments, and now we're throwing to this one. But during the 2 live segments, I have slated and probably have already recommended, if you will, some ideas for standing up for the other players. Now, let me do a little bit of a search here on the forums with the Exodus. Okay, so we had a question that talked about the difficulty of TB not being rolled back, and players are worried that this new edition will be hidden behind some massive paywall that'll weaken the community and player retirement. And then Top Hat responded saying that they're going to be actively monitoring player participation and related behaviors in the light side territory battle. If there is a problem, and they put in parentheses, your example is mass exodus, we will intervene and make changes. Hope this helps allay any concerns. In fact, it brought bigger concerns up to me, guys. And I came up with some ideas. I came up with the idea of a mass carbonite freezing where everybody who wants to take a stand will stand together this next GAC and aim for that frozen in carbonite or trapped in carbonite thing. They won't play GAC to say, look at us. A whole bunch of people just unlocked this in solidarity together. Another one is that they did talk about earlier that there are people that stopped, that they were looking at the numbers. That was the big thing, the numbers. And he was excited about the fact that there are people. He said, we pulled some fun metrics for the studio, and one of those is the number of players that are playing today installed in 2015 and have missed less than 15 days since then. The number was much higher than I would have expected. Another idea was to not even play the game, to boycott for 14 days, to make that number lower and surprise them even more. And the other one was, of course, the one that I've seen gain a lot of traction, and that's the Back to Hoth sit-in. What are there? Have you guys heard of any other ideas to give them metrics in their game rather than an online petition that anybody can sign?
I have not heard or know of anything. Finn, I don't know about you or Grim, but I mean, doing that stuff, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I really don't. I don't think, you know what they'll do? They'll look at those numbers like, I mean, the thing that threw me and Finn off, because we did our normal monthly, where we do the voices and stuff, or we, do the whole live Q&A, right? That one gave us pause. We actually stopped with our voices like, did they just say that? Like, we're not going to change anything unless there's a mass exodus. And I'm just sitting there going, really? That's what you're waiting for? Instead of being proactive, you want to be more reactive and wait till you lose a whole bunch of players, then try to save it? I mean, who says that? I don't know. I mean, I'm all for community camaraderie and trying to make a message, but is the message going to be received? I mean, I don't feel CG listens to us. I don't really think they bothered to listen to us. It was kind of prevalent in the Q&A yesterday, which really didn't tell us anything, and the stuff that they did say was really kind of disturbing. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If you guys want to do something like that, I'll support anything. But I don't think it's going to get through. I just don't think it's going to amount to a hill of beans to them, because in their minds they can do no wrong, and they're going to continue doing what they think is right, as long as one thing stands for certain: if it doesn't affect the bottom line, if it doesn't affect their money or their income, they're just not going to pay attention. They might, but only if it fits into what their plan is. That's just kind of my opinion. Finn, what do you think?
So, okay, I'm going to say something, and usually the stuff I say is never really popular. So I caveat this right now, and I apologize if your ratings on the Escape podcast go down.
You forgot to say Escape Pod Cast.
Oh yeah, Escape. If your ratings on the Escape Podcast go down. Okay, so they went on a different competing podcast that I won't say.
We are very, very proud for Galactic War Report.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're chuffed for them,
even though they're the inferior podcast. They had the devs.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Hey, I gotta give
Throw in the shade. Throw in the shade.
For the record, I will say the same thing about you on their podcast. I'm just telling you that right now.
I know you would.
So, they had the devs on there back in the end of November and talked about what their plans were and what their difficulties were. And I mentioned this a few times during this week as we were discussing this. They said that the biggest problem they have is not being able to release content as quickly as the players wanted. And for whatever those reasons, I'm not going to get into those details and the anger that happens with me for that. But they didn't have the ability to get the content out. And so what they wanted to do was introduce content that gives them more time to develop content while we kind of struggle through that content. So this light side GOTB is clearly catered for something we don't have in the game right now. There, whether it's a level cap increase, whether it's a relic increase, whether it's a mod increase, whatever it is. The math on the GP by itself tells you that we do not have what is necessary in order to fully defeat, meaning 36-star light side GOTB. So this is all stuff that is planned for completion 4, 5, 6 months down the line. When you look at the rewards, though, the rewards on light side GOTB are actually pretty decent compared to Hoth, even though it feels worse because the stars are considerably lower. In my guild, which is around 220 million GP, we can get the light side Hoth TB 45 stars. I'm not worried about that. Looked at what you would get with 45 stars versus what you would get in light side GOTB, and you really need somewhere around to get 6 or 7 stars in order to really make the reward somewhat equitable. Now, it's never going to be exactly even because there's going to be different amount of crystals, different amount of get 1, get 2. So you're trying to equate it a little bit, but around 5, 6, 7 stars, you're pretty close to 45 stars in light side Hoth TB. So from a perspective of looking at what we're getting as players, right? We're getting a little bit of a better reward by them releasing this content much earlier. So from that perspective, I'm not really upset with what they did with GOTB. The way I see it right now, my guild is basically going to get a week off with Lightside GOTB. I will give them deployment instructions right off the bat, tell them this is where we deploy, this is where you guys are going to go, this is our strategy. Hopefully it unlocks the correct territory next time, and we can actually go with the progress that we want. So it really makes it so that we kind of get a week off. Here's the problem from CG's perspective, which is why I think the boycotts and stuff are really not necessary at this point, because CG is sabotaging themselves. They have introduced a game mode where even the top guilds are having difficulty beating it with Relic 7 characters. So the first question that they should ask themselves, which I'm sure a lot of them are, and I've already seen it, they're asking themselves as to, they're probably not going to, but still considering going back to Hoth. But the bigger question, why am I investing in the characters that are needed for Lightside GOTB? Right? What is the point in me investing in Arc Trooper if he is going to get me watch shards in phase 3, and phase 3 is going to be more difficult than 1, and I can't even get finish the special mission on phase 1. So what is the point in me investing? Right? So they're just going to wait. Just wait it out. And you're going to see potentially even the higher end guilds, while they may attempt these missions and trying to come up with the strategy and doing things, they are going to be beating their head against the wall for a little while until they introduce whatever it is that this GOTB was really kind of tuned for. And all that means is that they are not going to have a reason to spend on what they consider now the current endgame content. The problem for CG is they put the endgame content so far out that the whales and the krakens can't even reach it right now with any realistic goal. And so when you do that, you hurt your own bottom line by making it so that they don't really have as much of an incentive to spend. You're not giving them that reason to invest in Arc Trooper, or even if they didn't already, Cody and Clone Sergeant and all these little characters you're trying to promote. You're not giving them that incentive to do it because all they know is they're going to go in and lose in the first wave and just die. And what is the point? And then
there you go.
On the other, so that's what they're doing, right? So there's really no point for it. On the other side, though, for the free-to-play players, you're now giving them the opportunity to become apathetic to the game. When players complain, when players cheer the game, whatever it is, that is their display of passion for the game. That means they care. The worst thing you can have is silence. When players are silent about a game, they play it, they just kind of put it up, put it down, move on for it, don't have an opinion on it, don't even think about it. That is a bad sign for a game, because you want these games invested in the people. You want to kind of attach to it. And as much as we joke about it, the goal is to try and make it an addiction so that players can they want to come and play and potentially spend. When you give them this kind of content, when literally the guilds are going to be giving instructions of deploy and drop it, You're going to have players literally picking up the game, hitting the deploy button, putting down the game, and walking away for the rest of the day. That now creates an apathetic player base that then realizes, oh, how much time have I been wasting in this game that I could have been doing X, Y, and Z? And we just had 2 people in our guild quit for that exact reason. They felt like this game was too much of a chore. One person had their phone break and wasn't able to play for a little while. Another one just realized there was nothing to do with Lightside GOTB. And by the end of it, basically said, well, I mean, there's really nothing I can do. And I realize I have other stuff I can do better. And my interest in this game isn't quite as much. So they quit.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. And with CG being as reactive as they are, and to the forum question that you provided, the worst thing they're doing is being reactive. They're waiting for players to quit for that max exodus to hit before they do anything. Meaning they're waiting for players to quit, which is awful.
And I don't want to see people quit. And that's why I spent the past at least the past segment, trying to talk people off of bridges. Because I love this community. Now, Grim, have you heard any rumblings of any, of any Hoth sit-ins or whatnot? Where's your barometer at?
Well, I have heard people talk about just going back to Hoth and do Hoth for a while. I mean, like the guild that I'm in, we're not going to do that because I'm in, one of the really high GP guilds, and they don't want to get left behind. And that's one of the problems that I think a lot of the higher end guilds are going to run into if they were to try the Hoth sit-in. But I have to side with Ranger on this one, though. I don't think us yelling so loud is going to do very much with CG anymore. Since, I mean, their main influx of monetization comes from new players rather than veteran players. So if a veteran player quits, there's already 100 more people that just joined the game, just download the game and dumped $50 to $100 in the game right then and there.
Especially with these Hyperdrive bundles.
So, I mean, I really hate to say that because I love this game. I'm addicted to this game. I'm not going to deny it. It's a fun game, but the community is what drives it for me. This community is amazing. Out of all the games I've ever played, I've stuck around with these guys. Real good group of people. But, I mean, I'm scary.
Could I just ask everybody to cast their minds back to this time last year? Does everybody remember what happened this time last year?
Finn had an internet baby.
What? Well, I mean, apart from Finn's internet baby,
I named it Steve.
Apart from Steve. Okay. Apart from Steve, of course. What happened this time?
Oh, you mean in the game?
In the game. What happened this time last year was we had a territory war. And do you remember what they did before the territory war happened? They banned characters, and they had the community vote for characters that they wanted to ban. And at the end of the voting, we were left with a pool of characters that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that had invested hundreds of dollars into, that CG was saying, sorry guys, you can't use this for TW. Now, there wasn't a mass quitting or a mass exodus, but what there was a mass sitting on TW. I mean, I was with a couple of guilds, and one of the guilds that I was in, we all basically said, we're just going to set defense. That's it. Nothing. We'll just set. We'll take the L. We'll get what pathetic rewards we can get, but we're not going to engage in this. So everybody just dumped a few characters on defense, so that you would qualify for the rewards, and then we just let it run. And it wasn't just our guild that did it. That happened en masse. It happened so en masse that CG came back within days of that TW ending and basically said, yeah, okay, that was a really, really bad. I think it was Carrie that actually came out and said, yeah, what we did there was wrong. We are never going to do that again, because the metrics that they took showed that no one engaged in territory wars for that specific territory war. And it was because people en masse and guilds en masse did something that they were able to measure with their metrics, and they had to be reactive and say, fine, we're not going to do that again. So I actually think that a hashtag return to Hoth could work if enough guilds did it. Now, I'm not suggesting that the, like you said, Grim, you're in a much higher guild. So you kind of don't really want to fall back. But this is something that isn't really going to make that much of a difference to those intermediates that just wouldn't really get any stars at all. We'd only get a handful of stars just by mass deploying in all of the territories at the start and then having to do that whole thing again because there's not enough GP to get one star in each of those territories.
Nev,
so
I've talked to people from TI.
Yeah.
I've talked to people from MAW. I've talked to people from I'm drawing a blank right now on Good as Dumb. The one that Kyle's in. I've talked to people from those, and they are willing to find a way. But
then
this will only work.
Then
if everybody within the sound of our voice, if everybody within the sound of our Discord server, of all the things, if we all band together, we can send the message. Bring it down. Stop turning it up to 11. Put it at 10. I want to at least pass the first 2 phases. And then it can become balls to the wall hard. But, and I don't care about the numbers. Those numbers are a little asinine. That's been my new word lately. Those numbers are a little bit asinine. But, the difficulty of completing the missions, that needs to change. We need to have some wins. You know the rule of or not the rule. You know the old saying that your first one's free. Give us that first one free.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, see, I'm a free to play player. And going into this light side GOTB, I knew it was gonna be stupid hard. This is gonna be so good. And I got gutter stomped. I didn't even get a turn on any of them. I did all the combat missions, but I got completely annihilated. And I mean, I do think Finn was correct, though. This is probably something set up for them dropping grind to level 90, or here comes the relic abilities and stuff like that. I mean, we're not prepared for this. I forget. Finn, who was it that did the calculations in our Discord for the GP that was required to finish Lightside GOTB?
I don't know. We had a bunch of people do it. I did one of them.
I think it was, 12 million per person?
It was 12 million GP. You need about 2 million more character GP, and you need a total of 6 million ship GP, and we're getting 1.5 million.
I mean, yeah. I would have liked to at least be able to complete the first wave. Then they co-stopped me in wave 2. But at least I would have been, it would have made me feel a little bit better about my crappy roster.
That is exactly what I'm preaching. Ranger, you've been quiet over there.
Well, I'm just letting everybody speak, but I mean, as I said, I mean, I hear what Nev's saying too, but I know for a long time there's been other people and voices and things that have been done where CG's like, nah, we're not listening. So I mean, I'm all for it. As I said, I'm all for whatever might work. I just know CG is going to do what they think is the right call, because if it doesn't affect their bottom line, they just don't listen. They just don't. And even when it does affect their bottom line, the whole thing with gas really caused a lot of people to quit. They're like, oh my Lord in heaven. And I know this last GOTV was a big hit for a lot of top end guilds, because a lot of people are like, you've got to be kidding me. I relic characters to 7, spent a fortune, and I can't even get one battle of 4 in phase 1. They're like, why am I playing or paying for this game? Which is really sad. I feel like Loki was talking about it. he did the special mission with Relic 7 Kenobi, Relic 5 Cody, and Sergeant, and got gutter stomped.
Yeah.
And he was like, that sucks. And he said there's guys that even went higher that actually spent money on ARC Trooper and some of these characters, these Jedis, to get them reliced, and then went in there and just got totally owned. And it's just not fun. I mean, I said this the other day, we play this game to have fun. And when you can't play the game literally and not have fun, you know, I mean, it was just heartening to see some of the stuff CG said yesterday. You know, because if you read the forums, if you read Reddit and you read the forums, I mean, it is people are coming out of the woodwork and out of top guilds and saying, "What are you doing, CG? Like, we want to support your game. You're not giving us the option of supporting the game." So if you guys think a sit-in will work, hey, I'm all for it. But I'm apprehensive to say that it will, because already people are saying this is way too difficult. And then yesterday, with like days of people, like just hundreds of posts in line that you can just read about people talking about this game, you know, they're like, no, we're not going to change it. You know, and it's just where we're at. So
this is what we need to do, though, Ranger. We need to show them, the paying people, and even the free-to-play people, that make it so the paying people have somebody to beat up on. Sorry, Grim.
Oh, it's all good.
You know, we have to make a stand, and we have to put out the flag and have the flag say lower light side's difficulty or something, and then follow through. You know, they could, if we did the 14, this is the worry for me. If we did the 14-day fast, they'll put out Hux during those 14 days. They'll put out the title update during those 14 days, and then that'll lure some people back in. If we state that we are going to trap ourselves in carbonite suicide is what I'll call it. If we do that, they'll put Zetas or bigger rewards in Grand Arena Championship.
Yeah, there's always something.
If we sit in Hoth, we lose out on the GET2 influx. That, you know, you get 1 star in light side Geo, you get better things. But we have to stick through it. I personally love the trapped in carbonite idea, but that's just me.
I'm down with that. I would be down to do that, because, I mean, GAC rewards suck.
Except for the Zetas.
You know, the only thing, like this last... Well, the Zetas are nice if you can get to top 4, right? But, I mean, I'd go without some Zetas. I mean, it's not like I'm dying for Zetas. I mean, the characters I'm Zetaing right now, I mean, I'm totally fine with it, you know, doing that. I think that would probably be your best bet to send a message. But I don't know if that would register, because they're like, I guess a lot of people really wanted that frozen carbonite.
No, we make the announcement. We put it on Reddit. We put it on. We broadcast it. You know, we put it on our servers. We you know, put it in our guild chats. It goes out. You know, this is, you know, I know Galactic War Report has Radio Free Tatooine, but I'm gonna piggyback on that. I'm not infringing. I'm just saying this is Radio Free Tatooine. This is, you know, this is a future. This is, by the way, this is not Radio Free Tatooine. This is the Escape Pod cast. And right now, guys, if you are hearing a kind of a difference in audio, a glitch in the audio, we had some problems while we were recording. If for some reason you don't hear any Grim, I've replaced it with the sound of sheep. You know, I wouldn't do that to you, Grim.
Can I make the noises? Rah, 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 rah.
I'll do my best to edit things up, and I'll put a disclaimer at the beginning if something happens here where we don't get Grim's audio uploaded. But you guys probably do notice a slight change. What I was talking about before the whole, you know, disconnection happened is that everybody would have to truly be committed to taking this stand. You can't have any people crossing the picket line, if you will, right?
Yeah, well,
you're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong, but it's. I mean, me personally, I like the Hoth one. But some people would say not prefer to do that one. Some people would prefer to do the Carbonite one. And maybe some people would prefer... I don't think people would prefer to do... I don't think anybody would like to do the 14 days off one. Because like you said, they would just throw too much into the game and people would be pinging each other left, right and centre on Discord. Oh my God, they've put this in the game. You've got to come back. Oh, they've put the... So I don't think that one would work. The GAC one could work. But I think the one that would probably be more effective is... I think the one that would probably be more effective is the Hoth one, and the reason why I don't think the GAC one would be as effective is because what I was going to be asking the RSG crew about was something that was brought up in the Q&A, which was about GAC rewards. And the fact...
Well, here's your segue. Go right ahead.
And so, obviously, one of the last things that you said, Ranger, was about the rewards not being that hot in GAC. So people would potentially be open to the idea of boycotting a GAC and going for that Carbonite title. But one of the better questions that actually got an answer to, something that's been asked in 2 previous QAs, is about, are the GA rewards still in line to what is expected? And CG Cyanides actually finally came out and said that they think they are rewarding too little championship tokens, so they are increasing the amount of championship currency earned through GAC in the following month. Because it's one of the things I've complained about, the end of championship rewards were just... It just wasn't enough.
Oh, they're garbage.
They were absolutely garbage. So you get 1 million credits and you get a few thousand of the currency. It should be in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, they go by instantly. I mean, you literally, unless you're getting first place, with those extra GAC tokens, even then it doesn't add up to a bunch of hella beans.
No.
You're not getting a lot to really buy anything with it. So, but even then, I'm willing to give that up. I mean, I can get gear from other places. So it's not like I'm losing out. GAC currency is not like one of those things where I'm like, well, I can't live without that. Get 1 and get 2 is a little harder, especially since I'm working on Anakin and stuff. But GAC rewards, yeah, I give that up. Couple less Zetas, I mean, okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's why I'm more inclined to do the Frozen Carbonite one. So, I mean, I'm down for whatever. I mean, I don't know if my guild will be for like, no range you're going to do. Let's GOTP like, well, sorry guys, I have to kind of do what the guild needs me to do. But anything outside like TB, I'm kind of open to do. I'll do whatever. I'll show solidarity. Will she listen? I don't know. That's the thing. So I would love to see that this has an impact and changes some minds, because not much else is really working. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the mere fact that they acknowledge that they are rewarding too little in championship tokens. It's one of these tiny little, it's one of these tiny little gets that we as a community get. Every now and then, not all the time. This time last year, we got what we wanted. They mothballed and said that they would never do that type of territory war again. And for, the last 2-3 months, we've been complaining about the GAC overall championship token rewards that we get at the end of the championship. And, that's another little thing that they're giving us. So even though they don't give us much when we complain, every now and again, we get these token gestures from CG. Yep, fine. We will acknowledge one thing out of the plethora of complaints that you aim towards us, and we'll acknowledge it and we'll do something about it. And the championship tokens and the GAC rewards is one of those token gestures, and it's going to kick in next month. So I mean, they might double it, they might triple it, and there's no way of knowing. All we know is that they are going to increase the amount. But I would be more than happy, like you. I mean, how do you get the Carbonite one? You join GAC and then you just do nothing, right?
You join GAC and you set one squad.
One squad.
Yeah.
You set one squad and then you do one failing attack.
My God, my GAC live streams are going to get boring.
Well, we'll do other streams. So, I mean,
You know, find a guildmate that decided that they didn't want to. That's the other thing. You know, it would be great.
I would do it as
everybody did it.
I would as a content creator. I would do it because it's the whole point of doing something like this is to make it as high profile as possible. And
send a message.
So I start my live stream. I join GAC. I set my one defense, and then I do an attack that I know I'm going to fail, and I just do that for 12 rounds, and I get frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing is, I could do it on every single one of my accounts that I've got loaded on. So I can do it on my Pom-Pom-tastic account. I can do it on my my daughter's account. I can do it on my daughter's account, and I can do it on my Merc account. So I can literally do a GAC live stream where I set every single account to go for the frozen in carbonite. I'm more than willing to do it, and I'm more than willing to stream it so that it can be seen as being done by CG. So I mean, if we can get content creators on board to do that, then I think it would cause more of a stir than just getting people to do it and not know. CG don't know, the community, the wider community wouldn't know if everybody was doing it. But if everybody that does GAC did it, I mean, the one person. The one person that makes the difference on that kind of issue is, who I'm going to say, it's Urza.
Yeah.
If Urza did it, CG would, yeah. And I'm not.
Can I buzzkill?
Sorry, what?
Can I buzzkill all of you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Buzzkill me.
Okay. So the 14-day thing. Too many people are not going to want to hurt their guild.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's ever going to
I
happen.
don't think that's a
The GAC thing is pretty much already happened. There's a lot of people that already decided they wanted that Carbonite title. They don't like the fact that this last GAC, you basically had one less team on defense compared to characters while adding a zone of ships. There were a lot of people that didn't like the layout of this GAC and already did the whole Carbonite thing. So I don't think the Carbonite thing is going to have as big an impact as you think. And I don't think a lot of content creators are going to sacrifice for it because here's the problem with the Hoth TB idea. And again, not opposed to it, but here is the inherent problem. It is the schedule. The schedule is going to kill you because we were supposed to do light side TB this time, right? And this is a failure. What's next week? Territory Wars. What's the week after? Dark side TB. What's the week after? Territory Wars. What's the week after? Now we're back to light side. So we're at least about 4 weeks away before any light side TB comes back. What comes in that time frame? Episode 9. That means they're going to drop something episode 9 into the game. What if they introduce a new level of Ray? If they now put in a new journey for Ray, we now have a new light side character that can potentially be a solution to light side GOTB. You're not going to get people, especially at the higher end, that got a new legendary Ray that do not want to try out to see if she can help in light side GOTB. It may be the exact same result, but now you have a brand new shiny character that you want to take in there and test against what CG has as the highest difficulty content. Let's suppose that fails. Let's suppose that Ray ends up being a massive failure inside of that light side GOTB. Everything is just as bad as it was. What happens the week after that? Territory Wars. Then Dark Side. Then Territory Wars. And now we're back to light side. So once again, you have another 3 weeks of nothing. What can happen in that 3 weeks? Return of gas.
A lot.
Yeah. They can return gas, right? So then if gas returns, who is not going to get gas that may be ready to at least attempt him? Because you're at that point, by the way, you're going to have people actually 7-starring gas for light side GOTB. I think Ranger, where are you at right now with yours? You got it to 6-star, right?
Yeah, he's 6-star. I'm out to take him 30 out of 100. So,
you have about like a month and a half, probably.
Yeah, with the rating and stuff, I'd say about a month to go. So I'm just doing the math in my head, like 4 more GOTBs, TWs and stuff where you get the other rewards. So,
we'll probably have passed one of the light side GOTB cycles, which means by the second time it comes back, now Ranger's going to have a 7-star gas. There's going to be several people that got gas the first time that are now going to be at 7-star that did not save get tokens. So that means now you're going to have a new light side GOTB with a bunch of people that got a 7-star gas that did not save.
Then what is the in-game equivalent of saying I am a player and I am joining this this side of the picket line?
It's not
money.
Yep. There is nothing.
Always been about money.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that we can do. If you don't spend, that will affect. You want to talk about numbers? Numbers that they will look at more than anything. It's about money.
Well, I see and I agree in that case, but for those that enjoy getting characters and things like that, but want to protest the gameplay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find something that even free-to-play people can stand in and say, this is where I am. This is where I stand.
So I'm coming from a free-to-play perspective, right? Because I'm basically free-to-play. I spent in the first couple months of the game, haven't spent anything since. And I haven't spent because, honestly, I don't agree with the way that CG has managed this game. I spend in other games. I do not spend in this one. So I'm coming from that perspective and telling you right now that as a free-to-play player, I do not care. This is supposed to be endgame content. My guild hasn't even gotten through Darkside GOTB. I do not mind having a week off. I do not mind having no reason right now to work on Cody and Clone Sergeant because I have other more important characters to work on, right? As a free-to-play player, I can't devote my attention to working on Lightside GOTB. The worst thing for me would be that if I felt close enough to be able to do something in Lightside GOTB and not do it. The fact that I'm so far away from actually being able to do something in Lightside GOTB is actually a relief for me as a free-to-play player because I don't feel like I have to use my crystals to suddenly get Arc Trooper. Because even if I get Arc Trooper, it's going to take me probably about 2 months to get it to a relic level that makes it so I can even get the Kiadi Mundi shard. So that means I can just wait until Arc Trooper becomes free-to-play and get him slowly when he gets there and just make sure I accumulate gear. In the meantime, work on my geos to make sure I get watch shards more consistently. I have to still finish
free-to-play. They already put him in Cantina. So he is free-to-play.
But
yes.
but people
so that's what I meant. Just continue to farm him free-to-play. They do have the pack also. And actually, when it first came out, I did buy some of his packs for the crystals. Just because I wanted to speed it up, because I didn't know how difficult it was going to be. I kind of regret it now because it was a complete waste.
300 crystals. I can send many Arc Trooper shots.
I just completely wasted my crystals there.
It's about the bottom line, Paul. I mean, it always has been about the bottom line. And I'm not talking about the free-to-play community. Free-to-play community, you start something, you can start a petition on Discord saying, I'm a Kraken, whale, dolphin, whatever, and I'm not spending in this game. If you want to join us in solidarity to make changes, whatever, right? Be specific about what you're saying. Just have people sign it and commit, saying, I won't spend any more in this game, right?
But anybody can sign that. Anybody could sign that. They could say, those weren't even players of the game.
I'm not going to do hot TB. How are you going to prove that they didn't, right? I mean, you're going to go around checking everybody saying, did you do hot TB?
No. I'm saying I want something measurable in their game.
When the numbers came back for the territory wars last year, the numbers came back that nobody did it. Nobody participated, so they binned doing that type of territory war again. So that was a sufficiently large enough group of guilds that
maybe do another TW. Say we're sitting this TW out. Nobody's putting defense down. Nobody's doing anything. Maybe some people do that. I mean, you're still gonna. If you get second place, you get something for it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
True.
I don't know what the answer is. I don't. I mean, other than affecting the bottom line. If enough Whales and Krakens and some of these new players coming in spending money see this and join it, I mean, let's say you lose 10% of the 100% of the people that sign up for this, right? That's still a big chunk of change. So it's how do you want to make your statement and what's going to be the most effective, right? The bottom line has always been the answer. When people pick it, it's about money. You know, I mean, you can do other stuff and it may it may send a message, but you're rolling the dice whether it'll work or not. When you affect the bottom line, people respond. I mean, and if you look throughout history, any picket that's ever been done for things, you know, factory workers and rights and things of that nature, is because it affected the bottom line. And that's the only way changes really ever happened.
Yeah. Grim, what about you, buddy? You know, you've been silent over there, my friend.
Oh, can I do this? Bah! Bah!
All right. Well, you know, we still have time to figure out where we're going to go with this whole movement. If we're even going to do this movement, I really think it needs to be done. If you have ideas, put them in the, reply to us on Twitter, talk to us on our Discord channel. You know, we can make a difference if we stick to it. Now, another way that we can make a difference is by supporting cancer research. And, 2 days ago, my wife had her port removed. No, it was just yesterday that my wife had her port removed. And, that's a big step for a chemo patient. I know that you guys deal a lot with the ACS. And I wanted to bring you guys on so you could talk about the event that you're having this weekend. And I know that our friends Dan and Kyle Do Hollywood also threw something on the block for this. It's something I'm considering doing if I can. We'll see what we can do here. But Grim, give us a rundown of what's coming up this weekend.
Well, the really, really big shoe. We're going to be doing a 24-hour charity live stream raising money for ACS. Finn is probably the better one to talk to about this because he has all the info, but it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing games. Of course, Galaxy Heroes is going to be involved as well. Battlefront with Ranger, Borderlands 3, and all sorts of stuff. The whole crew's going to be there. It's going to be fun.
Wait. Finn, will there be marble racing?
Yes, there will be.
Go ahead and give us a rundown of anything that Grim may have missed.
Sure. So we are doing 24 hours of streaming, but we're splitting it over 2 days. So over the weekend, this coming weekend, December 7th and December 8th, we're doing 2 12-hour live streams from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time on both days. We will first be on YouTube starting at 10 a.m. on December 7th, starting out with our typical Jedi Academy live stream, which is where we have a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Q&A segment. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. You guys come, you guys ask questions. We have a panel of YouTubers like T-Money and Good Old Maurice from Operation Metaverse. We have Warrior. We have Ramon. I mean, we have a whole bunch of people. And right now, Jedi Master Adastra is kind of the hot topic because of Lightside GOTB. So she's hopefully going to be there. We're talking to her right now just to make sure her schedule's good. So we'll do that 2-hour Q&A. And that is going to be our kickoff for the entire weekend. Now, last year, we had a really fun part to the Jedi Academy as part of our fundraiser. And that was Good Old Maurice doing dances for donations to the ACS. Good Old Maurice, being the awesome guy that he is once again doing that. So we have a reward that's going to unlock pretty soon on our Tiltify page, where you go and you donate, and you can get different rewards. You can donate to polls, you can donate to challenges, and so you go there and you can buy a reward and request Good Old Maurice to do a dance. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys missed out last year. Make sure that you tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern time and come and just watch Good Old Maurice dance. We'll answer your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes questions, but honestly, Good Old Maurice is going to steal the show there. So that is going to be the kickoff. We're going to have some other fun stuff during the rest of that 12-hour stream as well, kind of like what Grim was mentioning with Battlefront. And we are going to have someone from the ACS joining us as well on Saturday. She has joined us before, Jenna from the ACS, and there might be a couple of others. But she'll be there. And she judged Good Old Maurice last year, too, So she is excited to see good old Maurice dance again. I just finished talking to her today, actually. She is excited to see good old Maurice dance again. So that is going to be all on YouTube. So youtube.com/realityskewedgamers. You guys head there, join us at 10 a.m. Entire 12 hours, little bit, whatever you guys want. Join us for that. And again, we're trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So we have our Tiltify campaign linked in that event. Then on
there's a lot of giving. This show has a lot of wonderful listeners that have supported many things in the past. And I know we ask, and it's, if you have that extra cup of coffee in your pocket and you want to help out, throw it somewhere in one of the things that we care about. It means a lot to us, even if it is just $5.
Mm-hmm. Every penny helps.
Every bit helps.
Yeah, Finn, I'll just throw my hat in here. You'll have seen my streams before. You know that massive, huge, pom-pom-tastic Death Star that hovers over Europe behind my shoulder? Yeah, you can put that on the Tiltify and get people to bid on that. I'll happily donate that, and I'll be more than happy to donate a couple hours of my time. I will do a 2-hour story time with the Nev. I will sit and I will read an old, EU Star Wars book for 2 hours. I will more than happily do that on live stream for you. If you need to, fill a couple of hours so that you guys can take a break, more than happy to do that as well.
Awesome!
Wow, thank you very much, man.
So the Death Star is going in the ACS, huh?
It only took me 12 hours to make, so I can spend another 12 hours and make another one. But there was love and affection put into that, so yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
Unlike a cross stitch.
Yeah, it's complete. 250 about 250 pom poms. It took me absolutely forever to make, but yeah, more than happy to donate to a good cause.
Yeah, but Finn was doing a dig at our lovely teammate Venom, and his life is forfeit.
I'm already dead when we go in April. Yeah, we're all dead.
No, you guys, Tier, to let me know, I'm in the clear. You guys are going to die horribly. And I'm going to record all.
Grande's going first.
Oh yeah, Grande's definitely getting a beating. So, oh my goodness,
Grande's been doing a McVenom voice, and that
it's been pretty bad. So on Saturday we'll do that. I'll do some Battlefront. We may do some Naruto. We're definitely going to do some Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars. We have been running a Star Wars campaign with D&D 5th edition, so we'll do some of that. So we got a lot of stuff planned for Saturday. And then Sunday. Finn, what do you got planned for the folks over there on Twitch?
We're going to do some Borderlands 3. We'll hopefully do some other games like Stardew Valley and maybe Don't Starve Together. But the main thing is going to be probably a lot of marble racing. And if you guys haven't done marble racing, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I won my first time ever marble racing.
You did, and Grim can't finish.
Yeah, the first time I did marble racing, I decided to see what the neat background was underneath the racetrack.
And he's been addicted to the background since.
My marbles just like all. You guys have fun. I'm gonna go skydiving.
I'm out of here.
And if you guys aren't familiar with what the marble racing is, it's a game that allows you as a viewer in Twitch. You don't have to download anything. Nope. You basically get a marble that comes onto the game field that I have set up on my stream. It puts a marble there, and all the marbles just race. It is the way that RNG was designed to be fun.
It's physics-based marble racing, and it is so much fun.
Well, I don't see the physics-based when, there's an totally encapsulated area and Grimm's marble still finds a way to fly off the shelf.
But that's
science.
Outliers. That is science. Come on.
I don't want to be a slacker. I got to find the hole in the track.
That's right. We'll let that sit there and marinate for a second.
We have gone way over, but one more time, how do they find you? How do they get to the Tiltify? And the other thing, what is the Twitch channel? So how did people normally find you, Ranger?
You can go to Reality Skewed Gamers on YouTube. You can find Reality Skewed Gamers on Twitch. Both those, everything will be linked when you go to those during those time, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Just go there, join the fun. You can participate, all the good stuff. We are raising our goal is 17,500. Right now we're at 7,500, 7,600, right around that mark. You can go into the Tiltify, which will be linked there. You can see where we went to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and we hung out with the kids that are fighting the good fight against cancer. And then this is all leading us to April, where we'll be back at Walt Disney World at Galaxy's Edge. And I let stupid ass Finn talk me into this, doing the 5K and half marathon runs this next year coming up. All cultivating into that. And really support us. We're fighting pediatric cancer this year more than anything. That's the type of cancer we're going after. And you can watch the videos of us hanging out with the kids playing Battlefront, me dressed as Darth Revan and letting the kids beat the snot out of me with their lightsabers. So it's a lot of fun and it's a good cause. So please, if you can join us, spread the word, let people know about it, and help us raise that last 10,000 we need to reach the goal for ACS.
All right, Infinity, how do they find the Tiltify exactly?
So when you go to our YouTube page, you'll see the video for the Saturday stream. If you go there, it is in the description of that video. Similarly, if you go to our Twitch page, twitch.tv/realityskewedgamers, below the video in the panels, there is a link to the Tiltify there. So either one of those are the easiest ways to get to the Tiltify page, where you can then explore all of the rewards, challenges, and polls that we have for you to donate. By the way, please vote for Haldo and not Rose from
Rose.
No, Haldo, please. I don't want to relic up Rose. No.
All right.
Oh, but we want you to relic up Rose.
Oh yeah, we forgot Team Money's going to be roasting Grimm's roster. We forgot about that little tidbit too. So
I know, but I'm pretty sure Paul is like pulling the cane on us because we're going so long, and we can talk about this forever.
I'm sorry.
We could. Grimm, any final thoughts on this event coming up this weekend, buddy?
Oh, it's gonna be real fun. I'm probably not gonna get much sleep. I'll probably be there the whole time. But yeah, it's gonna be a blast. Come stop by, listen to all the cool people, play some games, have some fun. Yeah.
Is there a straight up drag race type of track for marble racing, Finn?
Yes, there is.
All of them have some obstacles, but there are some that are like straighter than others. So there are some of them. The Pixel Raceway is probably the best one for that.
All right, Grimm, you versus me in a drag race this Sunday.
I'm game.
All right. Nev, anything before we let RSG head out?
No, pull the cane, mate. Pull the cane.
All right. We'll be right back for our live fourth segment right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
I am upset that you had no questions for me.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
This is Ladypool here on behalf of DPK and Dagger. They are both working hard to get their teams ready for the ACS challenges they're doing for RSG. DPK will gear 13 his Phoenix squad if the challenge gets filled. Dagger will gear 13 his Bounty Hunters if the challenge gets filled. Go donate for a good cause and watch the boys gear 13 their factions. See you on the holotables.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast. The Escape Podcast. The Bridge.
And we are back on the live segments, man. Nev, I loved that interview. It went really long.
Well, the thing is, when you've got three. I mean, when you take into consideration, the RSG crew that couldn't make it to that interview. I mean, we had three of them: Ranger, Finn, and Grim. Can you imagine how long it would have gone on if we had Loki and Tits and Grande? I mean, I kind of thought it was going to overrun, but I'm glad it did.
You mean Grimnev?
Grimnev, yes. Grimnev.
The British mechanic, Grimnev.
Yes.
So, all right, buddy. Grim giving us bad eyes in the listener lounge. My gosh, it's been a week. It has been a very tough week to be a content creator, and Monday hit, and our really good friend Cubs lost his job. And
I remember seeing that. That totally sucked ass.
Yeah, and now he's pretty much taken over and gone full-time YouTube creator, and I'm loving it. If you guys aren't a supporter of Cubs, he may not be a castaway, but he is absolutely a very, very decent and honest human being. I still do some stuff with him behind the scenes, and maybe even you'll see one of Mrs. Anthony's pieces of work for Cubs soon. Who knows? We'll definitely see. Now, I do want to say, go support Cubs if you can. Even if it's just jumping into his channel and saying, Escape Pod sent me, wanted me to give you a thumbs up. We love you, Cubs, and we do love you, Cubs. Yes, Greek. Support Cubs. And speaking of Hellenics, when are you gonna fire up Noob? I'm just saying. All right. The other
he can't speak, Paul. He can't speak. He can only type. Type faster, Hellenics. Type faster.
Soon, trademark.
Soon, TM. There we go. See. When we ask you a question, buddy, you better be ready to type, fast answers, okay? Or we'll revoke all your privileges.
Now, we
you'll get 1/4 portion.
1/4 portion. See, there you go. Your Simon Pegg impression is perfect. Nev, we're looking at this Q&A. Before we get into this, to what I think is going to be huge, I think it's going to be a great thing, and I think it's going to be mid-level content. But before we do, the Q&A, we pretty much covered in these first three segments the big parts of Q&A. But the largest part of Q&A itself was the
most important.
Well, no,
which has got no. It was in the Q&A. It was in the Q&A. It was the majority of the Q&A. Therefore, it was the most important because that's what a Q&A is for, right? I mean, clearly that's what CG thinks a Q&A is for, to talk about the most important aspects of the game. So according to them, the most important aspects of the game are answering questions about art that, could be answered any random day at any random time in the forums. Just not in a live QA. So I'm sorry. I won't hear anything. No arguing. The art is more important than answering questions regarding bugs and issues for GOTB, or answering questions about the Hyperdrive bundle, or answering questions about new content. I mean, what was it? We had 15 questions about art in the same space. We had 2 questions about content. That's how important answering questions about content was to CG. They answered 15 questions about art before answering, in the same time as answering 2 answers about content. So yeah, awful, inefficient, a very, very poor and inefficient use of CG's time, and a waste of a Q&A.
Now, I'm going to caveat that, and I am going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because without these art people, there wouldn't be animation that's done. There wouldn't be a lot of things that make this game fun and nice to look at. Otherwise, it'd just be, 8-bit sprites. But still, there would have to be art. Now, that being said, I'm not upset that they took some time for art, but they did, in my mind, go a little bit overboard. But I may, if they ever do take us up on the invite again, I might ask some art questions, Neil, and I hope that you won't get upset at me, because there is you're misunderstanding me here. I don't have any issues with the art questions being asked, and I don't have any issues with the art questions being answered. They're not tough questions to answer. They're really, really easy questions. Somebody has a question about art, or somebody wants to direct a question about art to one of the developers that does the art. Not a problem. You can do that in the forums. It's not tough. It's not hard. It's not, a problematic type thing to have to, put. It's not something that's going to get censored or removed from the forums. And the question can just sit there until it's, the artist, the artist CG, whoever comes along and goes, oh yeah, well, this was my favorite character and I had fun developing this character, or I had fun doing that. This is, art questions are, I'm not taking away from their importance. I'm taking away from their relevancy of the Q&A, the live Q&A at the time. Art questions are not relevant at the time were not relevant and shouldn't have been taking up valuable time during that live Q&A. I'm not saying that the questions aren't important and that they shouldn't be answered. I'm simply stipulating that during the QA period, it was a waste of time. So I think that the artwork is important, what they do is important, and it's fun to ask those types of questions of the developers. The forum that it was done in, the live Q&A, it shouldn't have been done then. The questions that were being asked and the answers that we were wanting were there were more important pending issues that needed to be addressed, and they weren't. Well, not adequately anyway. All right, but to each their own. To each their own.
To each their own.
All right. So we got a little bit of a tease of the future of what's going to be in the Journey Guide, and there's an item that they're calling Galactic Legends. They revealed. Now they revealed. I'm gonna read it verbatim here.
Yep. I've got it in front of me as well, mate.
We've revealed some of the reasons we're excited about the Journey Guide and the future of events last week. But there's one more thing we want to reveal before the Journey Guide is released into the Cantina. So it does sound like next week is it. We called this last week. When we looked at the guide, we called this, that it was going to be next week. By the way, Darth Revan will be in the Journey Guide. They did also
Thank
confirm
God for that. Pomtastic needs Darth Revan.
Now, The Galactic Legend designation will be reserved for some of the most famous and powerful characters in the galaxy, and the Journey Guide will be your path to unlocking them. So it looks like there is stuff in this, not the Hyperdrive bundle, but the Journey Guide itself, that is going to be for endgame players as well. Or, by God, if it happens, mid-game players as well. Now we'll be
looks like they're throwing some brand spanking new characters in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they'll be sharing more about what makes a Galactic Legend special and how to unlock them down the road. But for now, I have the honor of revealing who the first 2 Galactic Legends will be: Rey and Kylo Ren.
The first 2 Galactic Legends.
So, and in this picture, Kylo Ren does have the I forget what the Japanese artwork is called, but he put the mask back together. It's when you take a piece of pottery and you put it back together with a medium that is visible, and it adds intricacy and personality to the pottery that's broken. I forget exactly what that's called, but that's exactly what they did with Kylo Ren's mask and the red. And then, of course, you have a Jedi Rey. That definitely looks like a Jedi Rey. They did say, to avoid any plot spoilers, these aren't the final in-game names. We will unveil
no crap, Sherlock.
We'll unveil the final names at some point following the theatrical release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
But I think it'll be Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
And I think it's going to be Jedi Rey. I think that's...
No, it's going to be Rey Skywalker, because it's going to be Rey Skywalker, because she's going to be the long lost daughter of Luke Skywalker.
No, she's not. There is a living Skywalker. There is a living Skywalker, and it's Kylo Ren.
I'm being facetious.
I'm just, there's so many people that are like, there's no more Skywalkers. Who's going to be a Skywalker? Is Luke going to come back? I'm like, no, Kylo Ren is a Skywalker, you idiot.
Well, no, he's a knight. He doesn't care about family. He's a knight of Ren. He's a badass knight of Ren. That's what makes him such a galactic legend. Being beaten by a girl twice makes him a galactic legend.
Dagger saying that he's a solo Organa. Yeah, who's the father of Leia? Who's the father of Leia Organa? Or technically, Leia Skywalker.
No, her name is still Leia Organa Solo.
Okay, hold on. Greek is coming in saying that he's a solo. But Greek, Hellenics, do me a favor.
Genetic. He's 50%, 50%.
You are not a Greek. You are not a Spartan if your mother was not a Spartan. Don't say that that she was a Skywalker. All right.
Oh, it's a hot topic, but it's just I find to be honest with you, I find the whole introduction of these 2 galactic legends into the Journey Guide a bit perplexing, because when they first talked about the Journey Guide, it was like, oh yeah, we're only going to put characters in whose events have been running for 12 months, and then they threw in Darth Revan, who hasn't been running for 12 months, and now they're throwing in Rey and Kylo Ren, whose events haven't even started. So it's like, how many other things are going to change with this Journey Guide? I just want them to release the damn thing
next week.
I just want them to release the damn thing.
Our show next week is going to be all about this Journey Guide. I'm calling the shot now. I'm putting on the foil hat that you see during Sundays with Talking Mando on Going Nerdy's channel. I'm putting on that foil hat, even though yours is totally cheating.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's just Ian, Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight Luke better be a galactic legend. Or what's the point in even creating a galactic legend category? Yes, there are lots and lots of Jedis Well, actually, no. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Sith or a Jedi or a bad. It could be anybody. We just want a galactic legend. I mean, what is it? They could make Hando a galactic legend. I wouldn't have any problems with that. Would anyone have any problems with Hando being a galactic legend? Type faster, people. Type faster. We need to keep this going. We need to keep this flowing. I bet you wouldn't mind that. You'd love him to be a galactic legend, wouldn't you?
I would love to see just Hondo and in the game.
I mean, clearly, I'm not being, this isn't me being facetious, but clearly the galactic legend tag is just, whatever Disney kind of like wanting to push on us. Obviously, Episode 9 is coming, so the galactic legend that they want to push is Rey and Kylo Ren, and obviously when they transition back out of Episode 9 and transition back into the Clone Wars for the last season of Clone Wars, the galactic legends will be, fingers crossed, some maybe a new heaven forbid, a new version of Mace Windu that is actually badass as he should be. So I think this galactic legend tag that they're putting into the journey guide is just going to be CG throwing into the into that journey guide format, whatever the flavor of the month is. I don't think it's going to have any. The term galactic legend is going to have any actual meaning. It's going to be based on the content that they want to push to us at the time.
Yeah.
But hey, new characters in the game is good. We don't care about the character themselves, and unless they're really, really, really weak. But because new characters are at the end of the day, they beef up a roster, and if they're OP, then yeah, I can see that happening. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren as a leader for the second. Hux is leading one half of the First Order. Kylo Ren lead this new Kylo Ren leading the other. That's brilliant. And then to have two Reys leading two separate resistances. Hey, maybe this Rey will actually make Holdo and Rose Tico relevant. Who know, all those people that lost bets that had to Zeta Rose Tico. Maybe they're going to make Rose Tico great again. The Kiani Mundi did seem to make Qui-Gon Jinn relevant in the game again, and he was pretty weak.
All right, so right now I'm having a issue with Patreon, trying to get in to make sure that I hit every single person. So at this time, if you are a Patreon, I want to say thank you to you. I don't want to go through a list off the top of my head and miss anyone. So I'm going to put off the Patreon thank yous until next week, when I will make sure I get the list before we go live on the air instead of doing it on the fly. Understandable, Nev?
Yeah, perfectly understandable.
All right,
perfectly. I do have one shout out though. I do have one shout out.
Yes.
And that shout out is to DPK. I was one of the people that fell foul of the Android bug, and I was unable to log into my account on either Android or on emulator. I'd already got Kyber on my main account, and I'd got Kyber on my daughter's account, so I was going for the treble, and I couldn't log on. So DPK was kind enough to step in for me and get the last few hundred banners that I needed in order to get Kyber on Pom-Pom-tastic, so I could get the treble. So big thank you, Kyle. Shame you couldn't beat shame you couldn't beat my opponent, but I didn't need that. All I needed was a few hundred. You kicked ass with the characters, and I really, really appreciate you doing that for me, mate.
Yeah, Kyle is awesome. He is certainly an awesome
Everything
guy.
Is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Speaking of teams, we do have, that was a perfect segue into the Escape Pod Castaways. So, we are getting very, very close to getting this website up and going. You've heard Heinze, you've heard Biscuit Weasel. You've heard Xylo Takedown. Well, you've seen Xylo Takedown in the listener lounge if you're chatting with us live as we're doing this. And Fighting Drunk covering Dragon Champions. We've got so many great content creators. Lennox. I know I'm going to miss a few and I'm going to kick myself in the butt after this. But one of the things that we're going to be doing with the Content Creators Network on every Sunday leading up to... I still don't know how I'm going to do the one after Christmas, but we'll make sure it happens somehow, some way. But, we have our Talking Mando segment with Thaddeus. And if you guys don't tune into that, you're missing some live video of the two of us, Nev and I, just hamming it up with Thaddeus, and
I will be getting very, very drunk because I've got a load of those little shot bottles, those little bottles with shots of liquor and stuff in. Well, we were cleaning out the drinks cabinet, and I came across a whole pile of these bottles of shots. So I'm going to line them all up in the table in front of me. I'm going to have a large bourbon, and I'm slowly going to get drunk all the way through the review of the Mando.
Yeah. And I've already made my notes. I already sent them over to Thaddeus for today's episode, and
I need to go watch it.
It's well, I'll save that. Anything else you want to share, Nev?
No, I'm good, mate. I am all good. Shared enough today, maybe overshared.
Oh, I didn't think so. Guys, thank you so much. Patreons, thank you. Even though I'm not able to name you right now, thank you from the very, very bottom of my heart. You guys help keep this dream alive. And we will continue to go. If you're looking for something to do for charity put me after Reality Skewed Gamers. If you still have a charitable bone in your body, the Mrs. Anthony did have a report out that does. We still have that big insurance bill that we're trying to cover right now. If you still have a charitable bone in your body after RSG, GoFundMe.com/Mrs. Anthony. Help us cover those last few medical bills of this year and what we are expecting next year. It's not fun, but we already knew that. And aside from that, guys, as I stole it from Chris Hardwick. I blatantly admit that I stole it from Chris Hardwick, but he did give me a like on a tweet that I asked if I could do it. As he always says, and as I adopted, be nice to each other, damn it. Good night. And with that being said, Nev, push the button.
You got it, mate. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.